Hello everyone, welcome back, Severus here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Was Hawk Moth. And before I get right into it guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, and also one more thing. If I hear any more one person even telling me in this video to continue that or do this, I'm gonna freaking block you for eternity. This is my channel, my domain. I created this place so I can have a place to do whatever I want, whenever I want, without taking orders from any insignificant life forms with a rapidly shrinking lifespan. So, if you would be very gentle and please not shove your stupid ideas while you sitting on your giant big sofa or leaning on your bed jerking off while telling me what to do, I would really appreciate it. Because I would like to do what I want. This is my hobby, and I do what I want. Good? Alright, I'm happy that we are on the same page. Let's get right into it now, shall we? Anyway, let's continue immediately the next day. Midoriya wakes up in the morning, he eats breakfast with his mother, and everything goes normally, as after that he decided to take a quick walk down in the morning, back into his hideout, right now technically. As Midoriya walking down the street, he still somewhat hearing those voices in his head. He noticed that he can hear them even regardless if he was in his, well, transformation or as Hawk Moth or not, as right now Midoriya just walking down the street. Before he enters into the building, he suddenly feels such a massive shock of negativity, feeling of betrayal, sadness unlike any other, and it's not far. It's close by in some alleyway, so Midoriya starts following that feeling until he found it, and the closer he gets, the more it sounds so painful. It almost makes him cry of how sad it is and true. And when he look, he see a dog hiding behind a garbage can. As Midoriya said, a dog? No wonder it was so pure. Dogs are known to be loyal. As Midoriya looks at him, he sees he has a collar on his neck while the dog seems very scared and also injured. This dog does not seem to be trained to fight or anything. It seems like it's just a house dog for decoration or something like that. And it's also freshly young. As Midoriya said, so I guess his owner left him. As Nero comes out saying, a little dog? I never sensed such purity and sadness. As Midoriya looks into him, he tried to get closer, but the dog, shrinks back in fear, thinking that Midoriya would hurt him. As Midoriya said, okay, so that's how it is. I wonder. Nuru, dark wings rise, as Nuru immediately just been sucked into Midoriya's brooch, which, by the way, thanks for the person who actually told me what's the object of the butterfly is. It's called a brooch, not a pendant, so I appreciate it very much. Thank you for, telling me very soon before I start doing a whole series while I say pendant by accident. Anyway, as he being sucked inside the brooch, immediately Midoriya transformed as he grabbed a butterfly and turned it into Akuma, saying, a dog who has been abandoned by its owner. Nothing more than the feeling of betrayal. Such a purity that I am willing to corrupt. As the butterfly flies into the dog collar before the dog gets the same markings on his face as Midoriya, and Midoriya said, Hellhound, you have been betrayed by your past owner who left you here to die. You wonder what mistakes have you done for you to deserve such fate. Do not worry, I'll be your new master. And I will not dispose of you as your old one. All what you have to do is just come with me. Do we have a deal? As the dog barks, and he immediately transforms into a much more darker and bigger and much more vicious looking monstrosity with 6 eyes. As Midoriya looks down into the dog, and the dog is growling a lot, monstrous-like. As Midoriya goes down on one knee and starts petting the dog, saying goodbye. As he stands up on his, feet and holding the canes, start walking, saying, come with me. I think he'll be very useful. as Midoriya whistles and the dog suddenly sinks into his shadow. As Midoriya said, "This is awesome. I really can give anybody any powers I want, but it seemed that it has to do something with his emotion. His emotions were so deep, and no wonder I could have made giving him such a strong abilities. I'm gonna need to test on this later. But also, good to know, I can also affect animals. As long as it have emotions, I can affect it. That will be useful to know." But, damn it! As Midoriya slaps his head on his forehead saying, "I Akumatize the dog! I want to have... damn it. Dark wings fall." As, well, Nero appears all tired and Midoriya said, "Damn it, I wasted my one chance for today." As Nero said, "Master?" As Izuku said, yeah, I know. Here," as he give him some chocolate. While Midoriya whistles again and the dog comes out of his shadow and he said, "What about the dog?" As Nero said, "Oh, he will stay akumatized as long as his akumatized object doesn't break." As Midoriya said, "Oh, that's good to know. So basically it doesn't matter if I am not transformed, as long as the person has his Akuma still contained in his akumatized object, they will still be a villains? Or, transformed?" As Nero said, "Basically, yes." As Midoriya said, "So in that case," as Midoriya takes the collar on the neck of the dog and said, "I want you to hide this somewhere that nobody could ever find." As immediately, Hound Dog immediately grabs the collar with his jaw and start running away before turning into shadow and sinking into somebody else's shadow. And Midoriya said, "Man, that's so badass. A shadow dog? I'll need to think of more creative ideas. Just imagine all the powers I could give." Well, I guess I'm gonna continue my walk for today. As Midoriya just keeps on walking for the rest of the day before Houndoom, again, returns to Midoriya and hides in his shadow again, which Midoriya thinks that the dog managed to hide his akumatized object somewhere. He doesn't know where, but he knows that nobody will find it anytime soon. Regardless of which, he gets a call from his mother, telling him that she wants to take him out for, some fun time at an amusement park, because last day she did not manage to take him out because he wanted to go alone, taking a walk, and she doesn't feel very good not taking him out on his birthday, so she decided to take him tonight. So Midoriya agrees, and right now at the nighttime, Midoriya and Inko go into an amusement park. They start having fun. Midoriya still has his little dark dog inside his shadow, before suddenly Midoriya starts seeing a butterfly, an Akuma, that immediately connect into the guy that was about to, turn on the game, as he just simultaneously combust and turn into the same villain last day that Midoriya created, Inferno. As then Midoriya starts seeing more butterflies and everybody start getting akumatized with them, turning into another Inferno, while Inko holding closer to Midoriya before Midoriya grabs her hand and starts running. But as he runs, a butterfly managed to enters into Inko's clothes before she also simultaneously combust and turn into an Inferno. As Midoriya's like, "Mom!" As she start blasting flames everywhere. All those villains, those Infernos start blasting flames everywhere. Inko was about to burn Midoriya whole, but suddenly the shadow dog jump out and bite her hand before throwing her aside. As Midoriya said, "Don't! That's my mother!" As Houndoom immediately grabbed into Midoriya and him and Midoriya sinks into the shadows before he teleported Midoriya away somewhere else. As Midoriya said, "What happened? What's going on? Neuro!" As Neuro said, "Oh no." As Midoriya said, "Why is everybody turning into the villain I akumatized last day?" As immediately Neuro said, "It must be... Did you not retrieve the Akuma?" As Midoriya said, "Retrieve it?" As Neuro said, "Oh no, this is horrible. When an Akuma is not retrieved or purified, it will keep on multiplying and turn into multiple Akumas of the same villain, and those clones will gonna lash into other people and turn them into the same villain regardless of their emotions, whether they're sad or happy, turning them into statues of the same villain. Until the main villain is back into action, they will become puppets for that villain to use. As Midoriya said, you mean to tell me that Inferno is back? And the kid I akumatized last night is again the same villain? As Nero said, yes, that's what I'm saying. That means that the kid has been akumatized again. The Akuma sensed his emotions and flew back into him. The Akuma doesn't follow your orders immediately. It just follows the saddest emotions. You can send it to somebody, but when you don't give commands to the Akuma, it will gonna find the nearest, saddest, most miserable person and akumatize. Or it will return it into its old host. As Midori said, damn it, this is madness. As Nero said, it is madness. I told you should not use the miraculous for this for bad. Look what's going on. As Midori said, enough of this. I have no time of this. Nero, Dark Wings rise. As immediately Midori transforms as he starts using his power again to connect with Inferno, the main one. As he said, Inferno. As Inferno said, yes, master. As Midoriya said, what are you doing? I did not tell you to attack. As he said, I'm doing what you told me, causing havoc on Japan. Wasn't that what you ordered? As Midoriya said, I ordered you that last day and you failed. I didn't ask for you to return. As he said, but I have returned. And this time, we are gonna take down Endeavor. For him, how he treated me horribly and refused my love as his fan. And I have you to thanks. And after I'm done with him, Japan will be next. As Midoriya said, stop this at once. As he said, I'm not stopping it. You wanted this, didn't you? I will finish it. As Izuku said, wait, Inferno! Inferno! Damn it, he's not talking back. I guess I'm gonna have to take it down by myself. As Midoriya looks into Houndoom as he said, guess I'm gonna have to take down the villains I created myself. As Izuku think a bit, saying, Nero said that the Akuma multiplies into clones. In other words, if I destroy the main villain, everybody else will return to normal. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Alright, Houndoom, get me to Endeavor's agency. As Houndoom immediately sinks into Midoriya's shadow before grabbing him, and Midoriya teleports in front of Endeavor's agency that is literally on fire. So many of, those fire clones start attacking the place with heroes all around. This is simply madness. Chaos everywhere is ensuing, and Midoriya just can't help it but rushes inside. He knows where that Inferno kid will be. As he makes his way inside the building, he sees some of the civilians being attacked and some of the heroes defending the civilians from the Infernos. One most notably being the hero Burnin, as she was about to, be attacked from behind by one of the Infernos before suddenly Midoriya jumps in front of the villain and immediately punches him into the wall as he shakes his fist a bit, saying, I didn't know I was so strong. As Inferno seeing this guy, she doesn't know who he is, but she doesn't have time for this because another Inferno was about to attack her, but she managed to defend herself. Houndoom seeing that one was about to jump on Midoriya from the back, as he immediately bites into him, using his shadow, creating giant knives, and immediately pushes the guy aside. As Midoriya said, make sure you don't kill any of them. I don't want them dead. They're just civilians. As Midoriya said in his mind, I know I wanted to cause havoc, but I didn't want this much havoc. As Midoriya starts walking into the elevator, while Houndoom is literally just doing all the work, Midoriya walks with one hand in his pocket and the other using the cane to walk, while Houndoom is simply devouring every single Inferno that tried to attack Midoriya, not letting any single scratch on him. Before Midoriya finally reaches the elevator, he starts pushing the button and the elevator starts going down. On the back, another Inferno tried to attack Houndoom and Midoriya, but Houndoom immediately grabs into the monstrous flame and threw him aside with his shadow. Another one tried to attack Midoriya with a wave of flame, but Houndoom created a shadow wall protecting Midoriya, while Midoriya is still looking into his, the watch inside the case saying, come on, where's this elevator? As Houndoom keeps on devouring everybody before he uses his shadow, expanding it and capturing them all with, well, black vines and throwing them into the side. As Vernon and some of the other heroes saying, "What kind of dog is that?" And they look into the kid with black hair, but they couldn't really see him very well. After all, the darkness and the shadows that covers him, thanks to Houndoom protecting him, is blocking their view, while Houndoom is keeping protecting Midoriya. Finally, the elevator arrives, and when the elevator door opens, an Inferno appears inside of it. But then Houndoom jumps on the, Inferno and throws a shadow punch into him, which immediately knocked him out and threw him outside of the elevator. As Midoriya said, "Good dog," as he pets him on his head before making his way inside the elevator. Houndoom immediately enters the elevator with Midoriya, and Midoriya presses on a button as the elevator door closes. And right now they start going up, and Midoriya is just going into Endeavor's office room while he's just waiting, looking into the clock in his staff, seeing the watch, and listening to the music, while looking into Houndoom saying, "You were awesome back there. I'll give you a treat when we go back home," as Houndoom barks in happiness. Before finally the elevator door opens and immediately Houndoom goes back into the attacking. Immediately a couple other of fire clones appear in front of him, being 4, as Houndoom immediately making quick work of them before throwing them outside of the window from the building. And Endeavor is standing face to face against the real Inferno, and Midoriya looks into him. And when he looks into Endeavor, he gets blasted with a fire attack that knocked him out. After all, Inferno's flame is far more hotter than Endeavor, and he's simply a fireman. And it was only a matter of time before Endeavor succumbs into his own weakness and into the massive fire of Inferno, as Inferno was about to kill Endeavor, but then Houndoom, using his shadow, grabs into the arm of Inferno and throws him to the side, before Midoriya walks in front of Inferno saying, "I thought I told you to stop," as immediately Inferno stands up saying, "You're not the boss of me, I'm gonna kill Endeavor, and shouldn't you be happy? I'm doing what you wanted." As he said, "What I wanted is a small attack. I wanted some shops destroyed and some cars flipping over, not the entire Japan to be in flames. Now, turn back normal." As he said, and how are you gonna force me?" As Midoriya said, "I guess I'm gonna have to take your akumatized object and return you to normal by my own hands." As Midoriya immediately opens his cane, and he discovers that his cane actually has a hidden blade inside of it. As Izuku said, that's nice. I guess this is not just a cane then." As Midoriya looks into Inferno, putting one hand behind his back and holding the cane blade with the other. As Inferno blasts Midoriya with fire before Houndoom makes a wall of shadows in front of him, Midoriya cuts through the shadows and immediately into, Inferno. He using the blade and tried to stab him in his chest before Inferno just turns into fire and it dodges the attack. As Midoriya is in his mind, "Yeah, I did give him that power. But that doesn't mean that I don't know his weaknesses." As Midoriya said, "Not just because you're the villain I created and I give you the power of fire manipulation, that means I don't know your weaknesses. I am the one who gave you that power. I'll take it back from you." As he immediately goes on the offensive again. Immediately, Midoriya told Houndoom to surround Inferno with, a shadow ball, which then he did. Inferno start blasting inside of it, but he's saying, "What is this?" As Midoriya said, condensed shadows. A little thing from my friend over here. I akumatized this morning, and it's much more powerful than you. He has much more stronger emotions than what you have. And I know what your weaknesses are, Inferno. Well, mostly it's water, but since I don't have any water available at this moment, I'll take the second best thing. You know how fire works, right? Oxygen and gasoline and a burning object. After all, fire breathes, and without the oxygen, it will gonna die out. And that's what is going to happen to you, as Inferno inside his flames start going weaker because the lack of oxygen. and starts growing weaker and weaker until he turns into a charcoal before, well, Houndoom just opens up the cage and Midoriya sees that Inferno, the charcoal Inferno that's trying desperately to stay lit, has the pencil in his, well, pants in his pockets, and Midoriya grabs it before breaking the pen as the Akuma flies out of it. Inferno returns back into just a child, and everybody else around the, well, the city and, well, the country to return back into normal. And, well, Inferno wondering what's going on, she started going up into Endeavor's office to see about her boss. But right now, Midoriya sees the kid. He's still unconscious, and he sees the Akuma. As Midoriya said, "Oh no, you're returning here." As the Akuma fly back into Midoriya's hand, as he looks into it, saying, "Alright, Noro, how can I purify it?" As Noro appeared and said, "It's simple, really. All what you have to do is just, well, think of the opposite way of akumatizing." As Midoriya said, "So just do the opposite of what I did?" As Midoriya just snaps his fingers, and the butterfly returned to being a white butterfly, and Midoriya said, "You've caused me so much trouble, little butterfly." As Midoriya breathes on it, and it flies away out of the window that was broken. As he smiles a bit, saying, "Thank God this is over." As Endeavor starts waking up, and Midoriya said, "Oh boy, Houndoom." As immediately after Nuru returning to Midoriya's brooch, Houndoom teleports Midoriya out of there. Endeavor wakes up, but not before seeing some sort of a shadow figure disappearing out of his office. As he sees the kid, the only thing left with him, and there is the child he saw last day, the same villain. The child who has been, well, turned into a fire and didn't know what happened with him. The kid doesn't even have a fire quirk, so how did he, well, transform into that? Endeavor's seeing that Burnin enters his office and start wondering what's going on. He tells her everything is alright and it's the same kid, they should take him back into the hospital and everything. But at the same time, they should help the civilians and evacuate everybody. But at the same time, Midoriya back into his hideout. He looks through the window while listening to everybody's voices, all the sadness, all the cries, as he said, "All what I wanted is just a small-scale destruction. I didn't want this to happen. Not of this." As he returns home. However, this is going to leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Samurd was here.